folks who want to get into real estate investing and they don't always have the spousal support. You're married, right? And I want to touch on this because it's usually a hot topic when folks who want to get into real estate investing and they don't always have the spousal support like you and I do to take that next big leap or get in their first deal, period, right? And so when we finally found a deal, you found the deal. That's how it came on my plate, and we analyzed it and we went after it. We got into the financing piece.
I think the asking price was 750, if I'm not mistaken.
750. So this is a 16 unit portfolio because it's two different properties, 16 unit portfolio. And I remember the loan was like 504,000 or something like that. That's what I had to come up with. Or excuse me, that was what we had to sign on the dotted line for. And you and I are the guarantors of that loan, which is the biggest loan that you've ever guaranteed. And I think for me as well, actually, on one lump sum. I was not necessarily nervous about it because I had been here before, but you and I had very many conversations about your nerves on signing on the dotted line and providing a personal guarantee for a $700,000 property, $500,000 loan. What was going through your mind there? And if you can, sprinkle in some of the conversations that you had with your wife, because I know y'all two had some conversations about it as well.
Yeah. So naturally coming from, and I'm gonna reference some Kiyosaki here, some the employee mindset. When
Right.
you see a loan of anything of massive size, unless you've been there, it freaks you completely out. And when I start, I mean, a couple $1,000s is still a lot of money to me. So when you start looking at a couple $100,000, and and then we have conversations to where it's like, hey man, if crap hits the fan, it's me and you, we're gonna have to figure this thing out. And that's a tough thing to stomach for somebody who has never even done a smaller deal. I'm
Oh, that's
not
right.
scared.
This was your first deal. I
Yeah,
don't.
so
Okay.
the first deal, so the first real sign on the dotted line is of a couple $100,000.
Not a
Um,
couple. Not a couple. 500. 504 actually. I do remember that number.
$504,000. When you take that to the wife and I'm like, baby, we got to talk about something.
Hmm.
We've got this deal. And she's like, okay, great. What is the deal? I'm like, well, it's a really good deal and it's going to be a really good play, but um, I've got to sign for the loan. And she said, okay, how much? 500,000. And then, the jaws hit the floor and, because she's never been in this position either. Um, but I was, and you always have those thoughts that pull you back,
Hmm.
um, just scared of the unknowns. And that's really the analysis paralysis part of all that is what keeps so many people from taking that lead. Now
Yeah.
looking back at it, I can't wait to do it 15 more times.
Yeah.
Um, because we were able to, really, you were able to help me get over the hump of being scared of that and knowing that it's not that bad. And as long as you have really good numbers on your deal, nothing will happen. Generally speaking, something can always happen,
But it
but
goes back to your underwriting. As long as you're conservative underwriting and you plan for your reserves for healthy reserves, then you're going to be fine, right? Barring any catastrophic situation, which your insurance should cover. But you're right. It's I remember it was one of those things where I feel like we were a week before, 2 weeks from closing, and you called me up and I was like, oh man, he's backing out of this deal. I remember hanging up for that phone call, thinking you're backing out of the deal, and I didn't know what to do because it's me and you, and we brought on 3 or 4 more partners, right?
yeah,
And I'm just like, all right, I guess we can scramble to not have to move to close because our sellers were getting a little antsy at the
right.
time. So
I still
uh,
remember exactly where I was at when I made that phone
where are you? In your truck?
call. I was in my truck. Like when you're driving from place to place, and I get to drive a lot, I get a lot of seat time in my job, but um, when you're driving from place to place, you get to do a deep dive,
Hmm.
if you choose to, into a lot of stuff. And I got that specific day, it was starting to get kind of real as to what was going down. And I was deep diving into all of the uh-ohs of what could go wrong. And
Yeah.
it just freaked. You just freak yourself out. And now I'm so glad that I did not do that.